Hey everyone, today is July 17th, 2023, and I'm about to take you down one of the most awful roads I've ever seen before. This road, we gotta stay slow because it's so rocky. It'll just rattle you apart. It is flooded in dozens of locations severely. Many of the culvert pipes are not working. And amazingly, there's a house on this road. See, there's a twisted metal culvert pipe right here. And I don't think that's working anymore. In the water, when I looked down, I could see a half frog. It still had its tail. Just like most of my frogs. They're already completely developed and left. Coming up here's a flood. So this road hasn't been maintained in a while. And on most of these areas that are rocky, they built it rocky so it can't wash out. Just like right here, all these big rocks were probably intentionally put here when they built the road. So it couldn't completely wash out. But all the soil, which made it smooth, did wash away. Gotta be careful going through these mud holes, because you don't know how deep or stuck you might get in them. A lot of times, if it's gonna be really bad, you're gonna see a lot of tire marks of people trying to go around it. You don't see any of that around there. It's still very solid, the road. Yesterday it rained a good portion of the day here in Maine. Today there's like no chance of rain. The rest of the week it's hit or miss. We have some drier patterns finally starting. This has been one of the wettest years I've seen in a long time, which means the beavers went crazy this year. Hopefully we can get some dry weather so we can start slowing down on that. So this road, at most of the time, you just can't go faster than 10, which is about what I'm doing now. How it just, each side of the road has a hump. You can tell this part of the road during rainstorms is like a river rapids coming down here, making all these ruts. But you can also tell a lot of people still use this road despite its condition. It's not growing in at all. There's no areas that are tight. People are still coming down here. If you can see everything building up there, it's like silt. I did sink into that a little bit. I was actually pretty amazed after driving down this road for over an hour that suddenly there's an area where the grass is all mowed. Somebody actually lives down here. That was a surprise to me. It's probably most likely someone's second house. They only come out here to get away. That's what it probably is. I'd hate to deal with this road every single day. It takes over an hour to get out of it. Here's a culvert showing. It's a plastic one. That'll be failed pretty soon. But here we are at the one house. Nicely mowed. Even got a basement, so it's not a temporary cabin or anything. Look how big this mud hole has become. There's just one house out here. Usually when you come across a little cabin out in the middle of nowhere, it's up on bricks or something. But this one's actually very permanent, this house. So I was going to try to go on this road as long as possible, but further down there, a couple miles, I came across a sign saying no highway vehicles past that point. And here's a bridge. The edge right there is washing out quite a bit. This is a pretty high one too. Water raging underneath. I do prefer these rainier days. It's been rainy a lot this year. Out of every single time I've come out on these roads this year, there's only been one dusty day. Because if it rains every other day, the roads don't have a chance to dry out enough and become dusty. Unless it's super hot that one day. This year, we had a couple days hit 90, but very rare. Typical weather up here in northern New England's in the 70s for the summer, and this year has been a very typical year, which has been awesome. Last year was very hot. This year has been very cool and rainy. This road's kind of nice. Got to drive through all these mud holes. The road is fairly smooth here, but then we'll get to another section where it's rocky for a very long time. See, this road hasn't been maintained. It's a lot of spots, it's kind of curved inwards instead of curved out to get rid of water. The drainage ditches have been neglected so long I can't even recognize them in most spots anymore. So this whole thing I can tell is water flowing down the road. That's why it's shaped like this so badly. Every single vehicle, every single person that drives down here, everyone going through those puddles, especially the people who drive through them real fast, it's just throwing more and more mud out of them, and they're just going to become deeper and deeper. But I find these roads really fun to drive on in this condition. The only roads I don't like driving on are the ones where it's covered in rocks. Very unpleasant ride. Right here we got some tree roots. That's how much it's eroded down. I don't think those tree roots would have been there when it was a logging road. There's a river next to me in the woods I can tell is flooding. A lot of grass underwater. Could have been the beavers. A lot of the beavers that we had problems with recently, they've been relocating them like crazy now. Trapper's been starting up a lot. I wonder when they're going to start repairing this road. These trees look big enough where they would start logging the area again. Usually they'd come out every 40 years, unless it's an area they keep thinning every now and then, doing it slowly instead of clear cutting. This area, this whole road, it's unusual. You don't see anywhere that looks like it's been logged anytime recently. I've seen them log areas where the trees were considerably smaller than you see here. So this road, to get them back in shape, Most of the culvert pipes are going to need to be replaced. Some of these holes are also created by water crossing there all the time because the pipe is destroyed. And they're going to need hundreds of dump trucks to come in here and build the road back up. Or they could probably use a lot of the soil they get from digging the ditches again. Now look at this. I can tell water must cross here a lot. Look what we got to drive over. Bunch of logs that are right in the road. Just slowly go up over them. They're not as big as they looked. I thought that was going to be more of a drop. And here's a really big plastic culvert pipe, which I'm not sure if it's doing anything at the moment. Let's look. It's destroyed the top of it from being run over. Yes, it is working. And I can feel some give driving over that soft plastic pipe in the mud. And right here is very rocky. I've yet to ever bottom out yet. Good amount of erosion on this hill. Be interesting to come down a road like this when it's pouring out. The reason I don't, because I don't want to get trapped. I told you like a week ago that I didn't want to go down any of the roads when we were having that potential 5 inches of rain, because some of these dirt roads can get pushed out. None of the roads here in Maine got pushed out. Vermont got that bullseye and took out almost every dirt road, making it so impossible to get around in the northern part of the state. New Hampshire was basically unaffected except some places lower down. It did affect certain roads, but not widespread like Vermont. That dip right there is a pipe. I'm not sure if that's just washing out because it's a metal pipe with the bottom completely rusted, or crushed plastic, but it does seem like it's working. It may also be clogged, and that crevice could be from water going over the top occasionally, but it wasn't recently. You'd see evidence of it if it was very recent. Been out on these roads for hours and only passed one vehicle, or that ATV I should say. This section of the road is a little bit more decent. We're able to get up a little bit faster. Now we're going about just over 20 miles an hour before we get to the really bad rocky area. I think this area was spared a little bit because the ditches are actually still working. I can still see off to the edges that the ditches are there. So the water's able to get out of here. I just saw we just ran over another plastic pipe, but that one doesn't appear to be damaged yet. It's just started eroding out of the ground. There's a good rocky area. This might be the start. Like this for quite a while. I see another culvert pipe coming up. Metal one. The metal ones, when you see them out of the ground like that, wow, you saw that the whole top of it's shiny from people running it over. That's been hit so many times and it's not even damaged like the plastic plastic ones would have been. You got to keep a close eye on those metal ones. Those metal ones can become sharp. I've seen ones that are like razor blades. Cut right through your tire. With the auto stabilization, I don't think you can tell, but that camera is moving around like crazy. That culvert there looks like it's still able to work a little bit. The ditch still exists to an extent. That hill wouldn't exist if it wasn't for all those rocks. Those rocks help slow down the storm surge. Just another logging road. There are so many offshoots. The woods around here looks very healthy, at least. It says the speed limit is 25 here. Can't even get close to that. Most logging roads, it's usually 35, 45. But I think we just went by someone else's house or camp. It was a gated driveway. I saw an RV down there. Can't imagine how slow you'd have to go down this road with an RV. Afraid an RV would get stuck. Here. I wonder if that culvert pipe underneath the road is clogged, causing it to just go up over the top. Because that's exactly where it's coming from. It either can't handle it or it's blocked. rocky section now. Will be like this for a while. Can't go more than 5. Now there's actually water in the road. It looks like everything coming out of that drainage ditch right there is just crossing the road right here. And this is pretty loose, this area. So that's just gonna get worse pretty fast. Just gotta stop right here for a moment. Just need a quick bathroom break. All right, back inside. I would have been down here during the actual rain, this would all be flooded. I can see puddles were floating here, but they receded pretty fast. A lot of those pools you see that I had to drive through, it's just so packed the water can't leave in any way. I wonder if you guys can tell how fast the camera's actually shaking there. Because I have tried multiple different holders for the windshield, and I didn't like any of them. It seems like all the expensive ones seem to be the worst for off-road. One of the cheapest ones, and it seems to work the best when we're not shaking as much. Had to super glue all the joints in it though, it couldn't even hold the weight of the camera without moving. Over tighten it and it snaps. I have not been down this road at all today. Never been down here in my life. I went out the other way, back to that fork. That's how I came in. So I don't know what we'll find down this road. Something that amazes me, all these roads here are so neglected, but yet I rarely ever see a beaver issue on them, despite that. Beavers are always seeming to mess with the active roads, when out here they'd probably be left alone and it wouldn't really matter. Just passed a beaver pond. I can see one down there. They killed a good amount of the forest, so maybe there's something coming up. because we're getting down near whatever river they had the dam. Yeah, we're going down a lot. I wonder if we're gonna hit a bridge or something. See how there's no trees growing down here? Flooded area. No trees on either side, so yeah. We spoke of it, and this is a beaver problem. Water is moving which way? I guess maybe that's wind current, the nasty water. I actually don't know which way it's moving. I think that, yeah, it's moving to the right. But that right there is not clogged, even if there is a culvert under the road. It's backed up on both sides evenly. That's being affected by a beaver dam downstream somewhere. Another good flood. At least this part of the road is softer. But the camera don't like it. If you can tell what it's doing, it's moving around a lot. But every time I look at the footage, despite how violently the camera is moving, it doesn't seem to be in the footage because of auto stabilization. Is this a fork again? Go down first. That's where beavers would be, if this even goes that far. This offshoot looks like it grows in very fast. Yeah, this road, you can't come down here at all. It used to be a road, I can tell, but can't pass down here at all. Well, no. It looks like to the left it may go a little bit, but not really. Someone changed their clothes and left it there on the side of the road. A lot of people go down there, I guess, being tricked by it. Something that's amazing me today, going down all these muddy roads for hours. Not a single set of moose tracks. No moose piles anywhere. And this is the end of the road for us. It says right there on that orange sign, no highway vehicles. But yet that road is probably still in good condition for a while. I just wish they'd put those signs like at the fork instead of wasting your time, or at least saying how many miles you can go down here. It's like a random spot to put it. Should be down here, like where I just had to turn around or back out of. I think they just don't want the liability of having to get someone unstuck. When an ATV, those are usually light enough, people can push them out pretty easily. They just don't want you getting stuck where no one else can easily go. I've seen certain logging roads, when they're open to ATVs like that, they'll put signs up. New Hampshire has a lot of them. They'll put a sign up that says, if you get stuck, minimum fine $5,000. But I think that fine is only enforceable if you call like 911 and the state actually has to pull you out or something. Because if you call someone private, if you even have a signal or a way to do that, how are they going to give you that fine? I think that's only if you waste resources. And those signs are to scare you into not doing it. I don't know if you'd even get that $5,000 fine or not. But I went down a road once in the winter. It had a sign like that. It says, not maintained for winter travel. $5,000 fine if you get stuck. I didn't get stuck though. It wasn't even snow covered yet, but they already had the sign up. So I don't even know if that would have counted. Some of the logging companies this year even put some signs up that said they'd give you fines if you got stuck in anything other than a truck. So I guess we're going to start backtracking again. That fork is going to be coming up. As soon as we get back to that fork, I think this road is going to get pretty nice again. this road is more narrow than the actual ones back there. This road's very narrow compared to those. When I first came down here, I didn't think we were going to find anything like that. Don't remember how far I drove, but this is going to go back to a main artery with heavy trucking. This road is considerably softer. No rocks in the road anymore. And right now, yeah, we just went by someone else's house. Now that one there looks like the person's almost never there. Definitely just a camp. This looks like a lot of the ATVs are turning to go up here. I'm not going up there though because that is so narrow and grown in. Yep, we're back to the main artery. Back onto the main road. I hope today's video of exploring a little bit off-road was interesting, everybody. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Been like 2 months and we have not been able to get rid of that wildfire smog. You can see it up there on those mountains. It's been 2 months. Sometimes it's almost non-existent, but you always see a little haze. I've not seen a perfectly clear day in a very long time.